This is totally different for me, way outside of my comfort zone, especially to be on here talking by myself. But let me give you a little background, tell you who I am. So my name is Jackie. Some of you might know me as I am Nurse Jackie. I am a women's health nurse practitioner, but these videos will not be focusing on that. These videos, I really don't know what they'll be focusing on exactly. All I know is that God told me to make a podcast one day as I was driving to work. And I was like, are you sure? And here I am. I'm making a podcast. I am just being obedient. So welcome to my podcast. It is good. So how I got the title, one day I was driving home. I'm not sure where I was coming from, but I was just led to pray for different women or different people in my friends group. And as I was thinking of each person in their certain situation, it kept coming to me, it is good. Okay, I was like, okay, for that person, it is good. For this person, it is good. So maybe like 6-7 people down the line, I was like, it is good. And whatever I was going through at the time, God was like, it's going to be all good. So I was like, yes, okay, God. That is the title of my podcast. It is good. That no matter what we go through in life, right? God works it all out for our good. Like I have a particular friend who's pregnant right now and dealing with a difficult pregnancy. And as I was praying for her, God told me to tell her it is good. Like it will be good. Same thing with different women or different people in my life, actually. Different situations we were going through, and God said, it is good. It will be good. It is already good. So I will be talking to many different people. And they will come on here, they will tell their story, and we will see that it all did turn out for our good, right? So God told me He gave me a list of people who I would interview first, right? So you will see those people. And then as I was talking to God and also these people, because coming on here, and first of all, coming on here, period, is different for me. Coming on here and telling our stories, it's not necessarily easy. So I was like, and they were like, how can I expect them to tell their story if I don't tell mine? It's like, okay. So I will start the podcast off with telling my story. We all have a really long story, right? So I was like, what am I going to talk about in this short amount of time? Because I feel like I will come on here periodically throughout the season and tell different parts of my story. But I believe I was led to start off this season, this podcast, with telling a story that most recently happened to me. Actually, last weekend. So I will be having a big birthday this year. I will be turning 40. And for some reason, I got this great idea that I want to run a half marathon before I turn 40. And, I've had the thought for a little while. And it was just a thought. It wasn't like I didn't set action to it, right? So it was just a thought. And then finally, I want to say last fall, I was like, okay, we're going to make this really happen. So I took the steps. I think I actually started training in November of last year. And right now, as I'm recording this, it is February of 24, right? So I started training in end of November of last year for this half marathon. And the training was great. The training showed me a lot. It taught me how to be disciplined. It taught me how, I was not a runner. I used to run several years ago. I was never like a runner, right? And so several years ago, I started running really just to get healthy. And I had got up to maybe running about 5-6 miles at the most periodically, maybe only once or twice, but running like 2 miles regularly. And then I stopped running. I think life happened. I went back to school to get another degree, and then I just did not run. So it had probably been about 4 years since I ran. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, let's train for this half marathon. So I had to become a runner. that was interesting. I had to figure out the best time for me to run with my schedule. I has just started a new job. Um, and so most of the times, well, all of the time actually, I had to wake up and run before my day started, before I got the kids ready for school. And so it really just showed me that when you really want something, right, and you get disciplined, you train at the oddest hours. A lot of my running, I did record, and it was crazy. Like as I was running, my mind is free, and it ended up being a time where God and I really just talked, right? I got a lot of revelation during my running. Running really became therapeutic. And then I read somewhere that says when you start running, it kind of becomes like an addiction. I wouldn't say it was like an addiction, but you do crazy things to stay in the routine, right? As the race was getting closer, so it's now January, and here in Houston we had like a freeze. One morning it was like 18 degrees outside, but then it said it felt like 13 or something. I still got up and ran, which is crazy for me. So I ran that morning before work and school for the kids, and it was freezing outside, but I was like layered up, so I was okay. But then when I came inside, my body was like, my hands were tingling, like it was like trying to come back to regular temperature. So, I mean, those were just some of the things that I was like, if I didn't have the dedication for this, or if I didn't have a goal that I was actively trying to reach, I definitely would not have done something crazy like that. So it just showed me that I can do a lot of things that I never thought I would be able to do before, right? So as the big day, race day, is coming up, I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm running long miles on Saturdays, 10, 11 miles, this and that. So the weekend before the race, I was supposed to run 12 miles that Saturday, but it was raining really bad. So I did not get to run those 12 miles. And I felt like, so I did get up the next Sunday before church. I didn't have time to run 12 miles, but I did run, I believe, 6 miles before church that day. So this was a week before the race. I did a couple of short runs throughout the week, but really you're supposed to be allowing your body to rest and prepare for the race. So throughout the race, I would run, like I'm a coffee drinker. So I would get up in the morning, drink coffee. So I guess I have caffeine in my body, and I would run. And then for some reason, as I got to the longer runs, let's say I probably ran up to 6 miles, maybe 7, with just coffee. But then when I got to 7 and I was like, oh my goodness, I got to run 8 miles. I was like, okay, let me get an energy drink. Didn't think anything of it. I mean, it's an energy drink. So I would do this periodically. And then in January, we were fasting as a church. So I didn't have any caffeine or anything, and I was still doing my runs, which, was another eye-opening thing. I was like, okay, I could do this without coffee, without caffeine, just me and God, right? So I could do it. I knew I could do it. And race day came and I was ready. But then all these thoughts were like, you need the extra push, you need that, you need this. Oh my goodness, you're about to run 13.1 miles, blah, blah, blah. So I had, and then maybe nerves, right? Like throughout the training, I realized, okay, I need to change this. I need to make sure I eat well before, all these things. And anyway, so I did record these things and learn these things. And then as race day came, the day before, I had a good meal planned. So then I realized I hadn't ate my dinner, and I was like, I need to eat, but I wasn't hungry. And so I didn't think too much of it. And then we go to bed, and here is race day. And I get up, I eat a banana. I typically don't eat too much before a long race because I just feel like I'm gonna throw it up. So I grab my banana, I drink my coffee like normal, and then I have an energy drink. And then I have another energy drink in my fanny pack for as I'm running, and I feel like I'm running out of energy because I'm like 13 miles. I might need a little pick-me-up. Didn't think anything of it. So it's race day, adrenaline. I had ate my banana. I'm pumped up on caffeine and adrenaline, and the race starts. Okay, so we start off good. My first two, so my app that I have, it's just a Samsung workout app or whatever. It's playing through my headphones, and it goes off every half mile. So the first 2.5 miles, the first couple, actually, I'm beating the time that I normally do. So I'm like, good, this is great. when I get to going all along throughout the race, right? When I get to mile 5, I was like, why am I feeling a little tired? Because at this point, I'm doing 5 miles regularly, like every Friday. So I'm doing them weekly, right? At least 5 miles weekly. And I'm like, I should not be feeling this out of it. So then I get to mile 7.5, and I'm like, I need to stop for a second, like walk, right? So I walk for a second, and as soon as I stop the run and start walking, I'm like, why are my legs cramping up? Like, this is crazy. I could do, like, mind you, before the race, the longest I had ran was 11 miles, and I did not feel winded. Like, I did not feel like I was going to die after it. So I'm like, I know I could do 11 miles. Like, I didn't do the 12, but I'm like, 11 miles, an extra 2.1 with the adrenaline, not a big deal. But at 7.5, I'm like, my legs should not be cramping. So I was like, I reach in my fanny pack, and the only thing I have to drink is the energy drink, right? So I drink some more energy drink, and I keep going. By 10 miles, I'm feeling a little lightheaded. I'm like, what's going on? I don't know. So I keep going, right? And I'm telling myself, so I had this goal originally that I wanted to finish without walking. I gave up on that goal. Not necessarily gave up, but I was like, okay, let's be realistic. This is my first time running a half marathon. I was not running before I started training, like just 2.5 months ago. So let me just finish under a certain time, because I know I could do it. I've done it on my app. Like I was beating the time on my app regularly, like every time I ran for a training. So I was like, let me just finish under a certain time, and that'll be good. That'll be well. My whole mantra was like, Lord, I want to finish, and I want to finish well. So as I'm walking, Holy Spirit is talking to me, and he was like, finishing well doesn't mean you have to run the whole race, right? Like, I'm just getting revelation as I'm walking, and I am struggling because I feel like my body's breaking down, but I don't understand why. So I'm just like, okay, God, I just need your strength, right? So the Holy Spirit was like, just finish. There's one part where I was recording during the race, and I remember saying, just finish. It doesn't matter if you have to walk. It doesn't matter if you have to run, if you have to crawl, slide. Just finish your race, and it's your race. Don't go at anybody else's pace. It doesn't matter how far they are behind you. Stop looking back, because it doesn't matter who's behind you. A lot of times, not just in race, but in life, we're like, I want to look back because I want to see how close they're getting to me. Why? That shouldn't change how fast you're moving. You should be moving at the pace that you need to move anyways, regardless of who's in front of you or who's behind you. But okay, so yeah, I'm having all this revelation. I'm like, all right, God, I don't have to kill myself to finish at the time that I had made for myself. I just need to finish, right? So at this point, my body's like going through it, and I'm like, okay, just keep walking step by step. And I'm praying. I'm in worship mode, because at this point, I'm like, I don't need to force myself to run. And there was times where I still tried to run, and I realized that my fast-paced walk was actually faster than my run or slow jog at this time, right? So I'm like, that was another revelation. Like, why do I want to run just to look like I'm putting more effort in when I'm actually not, right? Because if I'm running, it looks like I'm doing a lot, but on my watch, it was telling me that no, my run was actually slower than my fast-paced walk. So I had to, come out of my pride again and actually just walk, because I was going faster walking and spending less energy. And by this point, like, my head is swimming. I don't know what's going on. So like, I'm at mile 11. I just started worshiping, and I'm smiling. And this lady who I had seen earlier in the race, and she was like, keep going. Good job. It's your first race. She was like, I don't know why you're smiling. I was never smiling during my first race, and I never looked that cute, and blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I thought about Hannah, right? When she was up in the temple, I don't know where in the Bible, y'all, but when she was up and she was praying so hard for God to give her a son, that people thought she was crazy. They thought she was drunk, because I literally was like in worship mode, and I was like, God, I need your strength. And I was just smiling, and I would laugh. And I realized that I probably looked crazy from the outside, but I was doing what I needed to do internally to keep pushing, right? And that was keeping in communication with God. So at that point, I didn't care what it looked like on the outside. I had stopped running because just for me to look like I was doing more was wasting more energy, and I was not getting any further. And I was like just openly praising God. And I was like, God, like I'm at mile 11, mile 11 and a half at this point. All right, we got to do this. So I get all the way. Like my head is swimming. I'm just like step by step at this time. And I was like, I just don't want to stop. I just don't want to stop. So I keep going. By this point, I'm not even worried about the time. I'm just worried about getting to the finish line, right? I get all the way to mile 12.87, I see my husband and I'm like, okay. I just see him. So I'm like, okay, God, I'm so close. Let's keep going. Then he sees that he sees this delirious look on my face, I guess, and he comes towards me. And me, which I now know was being prideful and stubborn, I was like, no, I don't want to lean on you. I need to keep walking on my own, right? And so I said that I don't want to be disqualified if I lean on you. I was like, I don't want them to disqualify me if I lean on you. Now, mind you, by this time, I'm pretty sure I was already past the time that I was allowed, but I was like, no, I need to finish, because I still felt in my head that I have to finish. And it has to be me that finishes, and I can't use anybody to help me finish. God humbled me real quick, y'all. I ended up leaning on my husband to get the last few however miles. And then I was probably, so the half marathon is 13.1 miles. I think I was like at 12.98, and I could not go anymore. I had to sit down. I was on the corner, but still in the street. My feet cramped up on me inside my shoe like this. Like I could not stand on them. I took off my shoes in the middle of the street, and I'm rubbing my feet, and I'm sitting there like, I'm like a type A person. I'm like, why is this happening? Like, organized. I want to know the why, cause, effect, all of that. So I'm processing all of this. Like, why can I not stand up? Like, what's going on? And then it hits me in that moment as I'm sitting on the corner in traffic, right? Cars going by, that I did not fuel my body. I did not prepare my body. I didn't eat last night. I had a banana this morning. I had a cup of coffee with espresso, 2 energy drinks. My heart rate, my heart rate, I swore was like 200, right? And so, but I'm still holding on to this pride that I have to get up and finish. I can't let nobody help me. I have to be the one that finishes. So I'm sitting there. The guy was like, do you need an ambulance? I'm like, no. So then finally I'm like, I need an ambulance. So they call the ambulance. The ambulance takes a couple of minutes to get there. And then I'm like, tell them, no, I don't want the ambulance. The ambulance comes. And the guy jumps out. He's like, you're so close. I was like, I know. I'm a little annoyed. I'm pissed off at myself. I was like, I know. He was like, can you do it? I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. I could not get up, y'all. Like, we sat there for about 5 minutes. And then now my feet are still cramped up like this. I'm yelling at my husband. I was like, I need Gatorade. I need electrolytes. He ran across the street. He brings me back this drink, and it says something like fierce or intense. I'm like, I don't want more energy drink. I just want a regular Gatorade. Like, I was flipping out. But anyways, so my feet are still cramped. Then it goes up to my calf, right? So then the guy's telling me you're dehydrated and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I didn't eat. I know, but I'm so close. I got to finish. I try to stand up. They help me up. And I just stand there and my head starts spinning. God humbles me again. He's like, when are you going to get it? So he was like, they were like, can y'all, I'm still fighting at this point. He was like, you just got to walk a few more feet. The EMT guy. I was like, okay, let's go. At this point, I'm like, okay, I can't finish it on my own. I will accept help. So I'm leaning on my husband. My other good friend, Crystal, is there. I'm leaning on her. And I did tell her to record this because even though I was still battling pride at the time this was going on, I realized that I did not finish in the way I intended to, and it wasn't pretty like I wanted, but it still needed to be recorded because this was all part of my story, all part of my testimony, and it would help me and help somebody else. So I did the ugly, the crying, everything. I had her record it. I haven't looked at it yet. I will look at it live on this video, but I told her to record it. So they get me up, and my plan is to lean on them and still finish. I stood there for a second. God was like, sit down, just sit down. And I told them, I was like, okay, I can't go. Put me on the stretcher. So they get me on the stretcher. They're about to get me in the ambulance. I'm still fighting, right? And I'm like, no, push me through across the finish line on the stretcher. I don't know what was going through my mind, y'all. He says he can't do that. So I'm like, okay, literally like so close, like 12.87, something like that. Very, very close. Like maybe a 5-minute walk away. And then I just surrender. And my friend reminds me, or somebody says, I can finish the race for you. And then I was like, okay. I grabbed the bib off my shirt and I tell her, go, finish, run. And she's not a runner, y'all. She didn't train for anything, but it's literally just 5 minutes. She was not prepared to run. She did not have on a sports bra. She did not have on tennis shoes. Like, she was just prepared to support. When I tell you she finished that race for me, and she was walking, I was like, run. I could be a little bossy, even in the back of the ambulance, I guess. But I was like, run. And so she goes off to finish. I'm in the back of the ambulance. My body is breaking down. So now my feet, my calves, all the way up my thigh is like contracted, like won't relax for a good minute. But in the moment, it felt like 5 minutes, like my body would not relax. At this point, now I know I'm no longer actually running the race myself, which I realize now. I didn't realize at the moment. I was still in the race. I just had to. This is all revelation to me right now, guys. I just had to take help. I had to be able to accept help. Revelation right now. I obviously, I realized I was still dealing with pride, and I could be a bit stubborn, but I think that the sin here was the dealing with the pride. And I've grown up having to take care of everything myself. Like, that's just my MO for so long that I felt like I had to finish it myself. It was so hard for me to take the help. Like when my husband said, just lean on me to finish, I was like, no, I have to finish. I can't be disqualified by leaning on you. And then finally telling my friend, okay, you can finish for me. Okay, so we did that. I'm in the back of the ambulance. My heart rate is for sure 200. I know that because I'm a healthcare professional, so I knew what my body was going through once I realized what happened. And then I felt even stupider because I was like, I know better. Why didn't I eat? Like, I was in the back of the ambulance mad at myself, like pissed, because I felt stupid. I'm still battling the pride, and I did not want to look weak, but I felt that my body was about to give out on me. Like, I was going to pass out. But I was trying to calm myself down. I was breathing. My hands were shaking like this uncontrollably. My legs, which I wish they were shaking, but they were still contracted. I just saw like a hazy fuzziness. I'm holding onto one guy's hand so tight, the paramedic, and the rest of my body is just like giving away. But this one hand is holding onto him so tight. And I tell him, I'm squeezing your hand because if I loosen this grip, I'm going to pass out. Like, I know I have to actively be here, right? I have to will myself not to just let everything go, because the rest of my body, like this, there was no energy. All of my energy was just I'm holding on to make sure I don't pass out. Yeah. And it's crazy. Like as I was going through all of this, I was like, my friend needs to record like this. I'm fighting pride at the same time knowing I need to be vulnerable. And the way for me to be vulnerable is to show the world what happened to me. So, anyways, oh yeah, so I'm like, call my friend. I'm telling my husband, I'm barking orders. The EMTs are like, calm down, you need to do this, this, and this. I'm like, look, my heart rate is 200. He's like, no, it's not. I was like, bet, like, my sister-in-law told me I was being belligerent. I was like, it is 200. He was like, no, it's not going to be. I was like, it's not going to be because I know how to bring it down. Watch, I'm taking these slow breaths. I'm calming myself down internally, even though I'm not calm, but I'm like, I know all of the tricks to make it look calm on medical equipment. I don't know if that's such a good thing, but yeah, he was like, are you diabetic? I was like, no, but I'm probably hypoglycemic now because I haven't ate. Like I was just, yeah, healthcare professionals are not the best patients, but he wanted me to go to the hospital. I was like, I'm not going to the hospital. He was like, you shouldn't be going home. I was like, why? I know how to fix the problem. He was like, you're not a doctor. I was like, I'm a nurse practitioner. Yeah, but all of that happened. So my friend comes back. She finishes the race for me. I still get the medal, but I'm pissed at myself. I'm like, I had no grace for myself in this moment. And then I realized I need to have more grace for myself. But in the moment, I had no grace. I'm annoyed because I did something stupid, like I didn't fuel my body. I was running on fumes. I was full of caffeine and energy drinks, and I was so mad at myself that I did not finish myself. I got the medal. I actually have not worn the medal to this day, and it's been a week. I am no longer mad at myself, and I now realize that I needed that experience. For one, I know I was mad because I knew I could have finished, but I didn't properly prepare my body. Lesson learned for the next one because I will be doing this race again next year. Um, and at first I said I was going to do another half marathon this year, but I think I want to tackle that particular race before I move on to other half marathons. So I will be doing other runs though, like 5Ks, 10Ks, all that other stuff just to keep my running up. But I don't want to move on to another half marathon until I tackle that one. Even though now I do feel like I did complete. I got to the last 5 minutes. My friend finished the rest. And for a long time, so the race was Saturday, probably to like Monday, maybe Tuesday. I was like, I didn't deserve that medal. I didn't do anything. I didn't finish it. We can be really hard on ourselves. I know that. So, but anyways, I now realize I did finish the race. That it is okay to ask for help. I mean, sometimes we are put in different races in life that we will need help, and we have to accept that. And maybe this was something I needed to go through to know that when the next big thing God has me doing, or all the things He has me doing right now, that it will be okay to ask for help. And I should probably ask for help before I get to the point to where I feel like I'm about to die. So let me put that in my mind right now. It is not good to be stubborn, y'all. You don't have to do everything by yourself. I think that was just a life lesson for me that I have now learned, and I will start applying today because talking to you guys, talking on this video, I'm getting revelation just in the moment. But yeah, so that is my story, my testimony of what just happened. And maybe I don't know why, but God humbled me and showed me that there's still things I need to work on. I knew I had an issue with pride, but I thought that I was good, I guess. Still in pride anyways. But so now I know I'm still working on being delivered from pride. I have learned not to be so stubborn and to reach out for help when I need it. I now realize that I did finish the race. This is my medal. My friend helped me finish the last point, however many miles, and I thank her and love her for that. And I am actually happy with the outcome of the race now. Like literally just got to that point, like right now. I had got to the point a few days ago that, okay, it happened. It's a lesson learned for next time. I will be better prepared. I'm not doing any more energy drinks because I've run long distances without the energy drinks, and I know I can do it without it. So I will not be. I don't think there's anything wrong with energy drinks if you do it right. I did not do it right, and that was a horrible experience that I never want to experience again. To this day now, like my heart gets a little crazy with just a sip of coffee. And so I think my heart just dealt with a lot that day, and no more energy drinks for me. I'm slowly getting back into coffee, but that's still a little scary sometimes. But so yeah, I will be running. I will run this marathon again next year. And I will, if God says the same, cross the finish line on my own. I have no problem with accepting help. I now know that. Maybe the help I need is my friend. I'll get a couple of people to run the race with me. That's how y'all can help me. I know when my friends see this, they'll be so excited. So I think that's what we'll do. But I think the main lesson learned was that in life, we have these goals for ourselves, right? But just like in life, we're never meant to do everything by ourselves. And I think I've been doing life by myself for so long. And God has really, in these past couple of months, opened up my heart to where I have included a lot of people into my life that I never would have done before. It's crazy. Like, even when I was going through that, in the back of the ambulance, the people I was yelling at my husband to call, I would have never had a group of friends like that to call before. And it was like, I remember a few months ago, maybe a year ago, I was like, God, I need kingdom friendships. I need godly women in my life who, when I need something, I can call them. And I told my husband, call those women and pray. Like, that was it. I said, call them and tell them to pray. I didn't have to tell them why. My friend, I told her, call my sister-in-law. I was like, and tell her to pray. She not only called her and told her to pray, she put the phone on me as I was in the ambulance, and she was praying over me. And that is really what allowed me to calm my breathing down, close my eyes, fill me with peace, and be able to then say, I'm good, y'all. I'm not going to the hospital. but yeah. So God humbled me real quick. I realized that I need to be delivered from pride, and that it's okay to allow people to help you finish your race on the track, more specifically in life, right? I do believe that the next race, I need to cross the finish line, like on the track. But in life, I now realize that I need people to help me finish my race. God has so many things that he has put on my heart for me to do, and there's no way I can do them alone. Yes, I have God guiding me, pushing me, protecting me, but he reminded me that I also need people on this earth. We all need friendship. We all need community. We all need somebody who can help us. We can't do everything that God wants us to do alone and expect to do it well. So yeah, that was my latest story. It to me in the moment, it was not good. But now sitting here, I can say it is all good. I have learned so much from it. I learned that I can count on my friends. I learned that I have people who can pray for me. I learned how supportive my husband is. Oh my gosh. And I learned how to let people take care of me, including my husband, and how to let people support me. And even as I was sitting there angry and telling people I did not finish, those group of women told me, you did finish. Like, you did so much better than everybody else who was just sitting there or just standing there cheering people on. And to give myself grace. So yeah, I feel like I did a whole bunch of talking. I hope you guys got the point. I hope that whoever hears this in every episode after this, that God will open your ears and your heart so that you can receive what it is that you need to receive for this, that you need to receive from this. my goal with this podcast, I don't even know if I have a goal because God just told me to do it, but I believe that somebody will be helped in some way from each and every episode. I will have different women coming on and sharing their testimony, their stories. I will come on again and share more of my story, because this was just about a marathon, right? That played a lot into different areas of our life, showing us that we need help, and we need to be humble, and we need to accept support. But there's so much other things that I have a testimony about, and I will come on here and share more about me outside of this race. But I hope you guys enjoyed my story. I had to be vulnerable and talk about it, and God is showing me that I need to be vulnerable. I need to share my testimony, because we overcome by what? The blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And that's what you guys will get from as you're watching these episodes. A lot of women's testimonies. They're scared to come on here and share, but we realize that we have to share our testimony. We can't keep suffering in silence. And we're praying that as we come on here and share our testimony, that it touches somebody, it saves somebody, and it ultimately brings somebody closer to God. So yeah. Welcome to It Is Good. I hope you enjoyed this first episode, and you'll come back and watch the others. Hope you guys have... Oh, let me show you. Okay. I think I'm finally going to put this medal on. Oh, look. It says finisher. I hope this encourages everybody to finish the race that God put them on. And if you need help to do it, it's okay. Ask God to put the right people in your life who can help you finish the race that He told you to do, that He put you on, and run your race. Nobody else's. Run your race. So yeah, that was the first episode of It Is Good. God tells you to do something, just do it. Just get started. I put up a little bit of a fight to get this started, and He told me just get started. I had a checklist of what I needed to do before we start recording, and He said just get started. From the time, I just got this revelation. I don't even know if it's been a month yet, but in the past week, I have heard so many people, whether it's via sermons I'm watching or just so many people say, start the podcast. Like they could be talking about anything else, and they'll just be like, when God tells you to do something, like the podcast, and I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. So here we are. I started. It is good. Hope you guys have a good day. Remember, whatever you're going through, it will all be worked out for your good. It is good because God is good. Okay, and I know I said I was going to watch the videos live. I will watch the videos, and then I will upload it.
I can get my stretch out, man, and I can put you in the bag, get IV, get you some fluids.
You can give me IV when I get over there.
She said you can give me all the electrolytes you want to once I get over there.
I remember seeing a video about the Celsius.
You know?
Oh, they just offered me a Celsius, and I told them no. Okay.
Oh, that's what you were drinking on while you've been running?
They're trying to set my friend up.
Straight water.
You want some of this, Bob?
Not even the regular Gatorade. Yeah.
Go down.
Which way? Here?
Yeah. Remember I said I was having cramps at home? And Naya said she was having cramps too. She'd probably be drinking Celsius at school.
Yeah. Nah, them ain't for training. Maybe. Yeah.
I'ma still stay.
Just cool me up.
Yeah, we can. I mean, Yep. I can put you. You ain't gotta go. I get you out the road. You can sit on my stretcher.
I'm gonna take this over here.
You can kind of chill.
Thank you. Oh, sheesh. The headset back there by you, Burnell. Thank you.
How you feeling? Lightheaded? No, you're not good. You just went almost 13 miles. I mean, you good, but you ain't good. You know what I mean?
My calf, down here.
Oh, like a Charlie horse?
Yeah.
It's the
Maybe
humidity.
2 bananas. What we going to the finish line? This the first step.
You want to get her your tag, she can finish for you.